Hi, it's Tuesday again, which means I am doing a booktube tag at the very last minute again. I'm filming it on a Tuesday, and I hope to edit it on a Tuesday, and I hope to upload it on a Tuesday. I don't know why I do this to myself, but that's how it goes. So today I thought it would be fun to do Behind the Booktube tag. This one was originated with Shelly Swear Engine. I've seen a lot of people do it. It's making the rounds. And I figured since I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary on Booktube that this would be a good one to do for me, to look back and see how it's been going this year. I'll probably do the birthday tag too. I was gonna combine them both, but then I decided no, I'll separate them out. So some of these things might be a little bit of a crossover when I end up doing that one. Some similar questions and things I think. So the first question is, what has surprised you the most about Booktube, both in a good way and in a bad way? The good way is that people are so welcoming right off the bat. Right when I first uploaded, people came and watched the newbie tag. People started subscribing fairly quickly. I found like a circle of friends quite quickly. I still feel like I'm trying to break in. I feel like there's a little bit of, should we call them circles? Yeah, cliques. Cliques seems to be kind of a negative term, but there are little pockets of groups, and I still feel shy to break into the groups that are kind of established, kind of like, you know, the same feeling you would get in real life. But it was very welcoming at first, despite that, and finding, you know, similar friends and people that had started on Booktube at the same time as me and stuff like that. So that was awesome. And in a bad way, I don't know if I could really say that there's anything really bad about Booktube right now. I do find it interesting that everybody, at least people that I'm seeing, kind of do the same sort of videos. It's like there's this formula for a Booktube video, and everybody just kind of follows it. And I am torn between doing the thing that everybody's doing or trying to find my own completely new and unique approach to things. But then you do that, and then people might not watch because they want the familiar things. So that's not really a bad thing, but that's just sort of a struggle I'm having with the whole Booktube thing. Yeah. Okay, how do you balance reading and Booktube with the rest of your life? I have no idea. I don't know how people do this. I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. I don't know. What's my answer? You just have to figure out how to do both. You use your time wisely. You don't waste time. You, even though it's the last minute here on a Tuesday and I want to do a tag, I'm going to hurry and film, then I'm going to hurry and edit. And yeah, you just do. Sometimes I think we start stressing about all the things that needs to be done, and we just need to do and stop stressing. That's advice for myself too. Just stop stressing and just start doing. Reading, I've said in other tags and things like that, I always read before bed. I struggle between the reading and the K-dramas. They fulfill the exact same thing that I need in my head. K-drama watching to me isn't like watching TV, it's like reading a book. So usually I'm doing one or the other. So if I get into a K-drama, then the reading is less. This last month I tried to hold off starting a new K-drama, so I read a little more. So sometimes there's a give and take, and that can be, you know, you can plug in whatever it is in your life. So sometimes something's a little more, and sometimes this other thing's a little more, right? I want to try and write. I've got this book that I want to finish, and it takes a backseat to everything right now, and it makes me crazy. Like I need to fit that in somehow. My regular life is not very hard. My library job is only 2 mornings a week, so I really don't have a real job. So that gives me time to do all these other things. But there is a lot of other things that I'm doing, because there are times when I will go the whole day without reading or booktubing. So I don't know what I'm doing in those days, but it's just busy. There's just stuff all the time. What I really have a hard time fitting in is watching other booktube channels. So I feel really bad about that. Like I'm just watching here and there, now and then, and it's like, how do I expect people to watch my stuff if I'm not watching their stuff? I feel very guilty about that. So I need to figure out how to add that into the day somehow. Okay, have you ever thought about starting a Patreon? No. Patreon is one of those things where I feel like it's what the popular people do. Like if you have a following, then you can start a Patreon. If you don't have a very big following, like what's the point? You start a Patreon and then it's like confirmation that you aren't very popular if nobody joins it. You know what I mean? And also a Patreon to me is you would need to have some sort of something to put up there. And I would have no idea, you know, because you give your Patreon followers, your Patreon supporters exclusive content. Am I right? Isn't that what people do? I have no idea what that would be. So that would stress me out, trying to figure out what the exclusive content is. So at this point, I haven't jumped into that little segment of YouTubing, but maybe someday if I figure it out. If, you know, people want my exclusive content, ha, ha, ha. Have you ever made any mistakes on BookTube? I feel like there's really nothing you can do that's a mistake. The only thing that I maybe have done is had a typo in a title. And then I'm like, I am too lazy to redo the whole thing and render it and upload it again. So you're just gonna have to deal with my typo. I think I just watched something the other day where I saw the typo and I was like, please. Other than that, I don't know that I probably mispronounce authors' names like constantly. I don't know if that's really considered a mistake, just a quirk. I don't know. But yeah, other than typos and that, maybe, I don't think so. I feel like there's not much you can do that's a mistake, an actual real mistake, you know what I mean? Do you have any advice for new booktubers? Just do it, just like I was saying before. Stop thinking about it and just do it. And don't worry about following the exact formula that I was talking about. Just start doing what you have in mind. Just start talking about books. Do the BookTube newbie tag though. I think that helps people find you. So yeah, that's a big one, I think. Other than that, just start. What are your thoughts on the YouTube algorithm? I think it's stupid, pretty much bottom line. I'm not sure if it really exists. Okay, so I watch a lot of YouTube help videos, YouTube gurus. Some of them I like, some of them I think are really stupid. I'm gonna use that word a lot right now. So if that's a bad word in your house, I'm sorry. I feel like there's something that happens if your video gets liked and watched by a lot of people, then more people will obviously see it. It will be pushed to the top. But I don't know how people get that to happen. I feel like there's a bit of luck involved there, or you just kind of stumble into it accidentally somehow. I don't know that titles and thumbnails are really as huge a deal as all the YouTube help things say they are. I just think if people happen to like a video and then they like it and then they're watching it and then more people are gonna watch it. That's, I don't know. Did that even answer the question? It's a mystery. The whole thing is a huge, huge mystery. Videos. How do you decide what videos to make? Well, I see what other people are doing and I jump on board and do some of the same things, like a tag. There's just certain things you do with BookTube that it's just sort of expected, like, you know, talk about the books you're reading, review the books, show the new books you're gonna read, participate in some events now and then maybe. So if you just do all that stuff, that gives you a ton of ideas. And then, are you ever overwhelmed with video ideas? Sometimes I am. I get a lot of ideas. I make a list and then I try to go through my list of ideas and do the things. My hope is, like I said at the very beginning of this also, that I can find some ideas that are maybe a little bit different than what everybody else is doing, but still kind of follow the trend of what everybody else is doing. Let's mesh those two together somehow, right? I get ideas just from observing the book world. And then I think what's interesting too is trying to see what other people are doing on YouTube, but not necessarily BookTube, and then trying to modify it for BookTube. That's kind of a thing I've been thinking about, figuring out how to do better. Have you regretted posting a video? I don't think I've really regretted it. Sometimes I'm a little embarrassed at first, and then I'm like, whatever. I'm here putting myself out there. What is there to be embarrassed about? I'm trying to think if there's anything that I posted and then I wish I didn't. But I think I'm good there. subscribers and views. Are the number of views and subscribers meaningful to you? And the second part, are the numbers of views and subscribers a measurement of success? So yes, I think the numbers are meaningful to me. It's like they can't help but be, because they are a tangible evidence of if anybody's watching, that a measure of success. That depends on your goal. So if your goal is just to jump in here and have fun and talk about books and see what happens, then those numbers aren't really going to show success. If your goal is to maybe actually make some money doing this and, turn a hobby into a job, then those numbers are meaningful and show some success. So this is sort of a tricky question, because I do look at the numbers and I do get sad about it sometimes, views especially. Subscribers, I just really want to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark, because that's the magical number. I know nothing really crazy is going to happen once I hit that, but I feel like that's just the hugest milestone for a YouTube channel, and I just want to get there. The views, it makes me sad when I put time and effort into a video and then the views are just so low. The next question is, are you disappointed by growth on your channel? So sometimes I am, because of if there's really low views, which there usually are. I was really lucky at the very beginning of my booktube journey to put a video out that everybody loved, and it got a lot of views, and I was brand new, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be awesome. And my subscriber count went high right like in the first month because of that video, and then it just stopped. And so I think, it was awesome, but it also made me think that in the beginning that, wow, I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be awesome. And then everything just kind of just drops. And so now the subscriber number is just so slow, and the view count is so pathetic and sad. So then I'm just like, what happened to all those people that subscribed at that beginning? So it's a little discouraging sometimes, it is. So I tend to look at the numbers more than I should, right? Because I do want to grow. But that being said, I also think the bigger indicator of success is having what they call organic views. And so when I look at the views of my video, I am telling myself, I have no idea if this is true, that those are people who really wanted to watch it, that are gonna be my friends on BookTube, or they are my friends, or they will be my friends, or something like that. So like they're real people watching the video. Does that make sense? So that makes me feel a little better when I think about that, because that is a better measurement of success, I think, is the engagement you get and the connections you make. So the number doesn't always reflect that. That was a long-winded answer to that question. Have you ever thought about quitting BookTube? So my honest answer is yes, I think about it all the time. But I told myself to not think about it until I've done this at least for a year. So we're almost getting to that year mark, which is stressing me out a little bit, because now I'm basically allowing myself to think about it now. Seriously, think about it. Whereas before, every time it would pop into my head, I'd be like, no, you can't even think about this until you've at least done this for a year. So we'll see how I do in my second year. Do you think I'm gonna think about it too much and not keep going? I don't know. It's a thing that I love doing. I also keep asking myself, why am I doing this, and should I keep going? It's a struggle sometimes. So yes, I think about it quite a bit, and then I tell myself to just stop thinking about it, not stop BookTube. Comments. What are the most touching comments? Of course, the comments where people say, hey, I love your channel, I'm so glad I found you. Some people have said that I have a great enthusiasm and a soothing nature. I don't know. Those comments make me feel good, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's not the dumbest idea you've ever had to be on BookTube. Maybe you really can do this. So thank you for those comments, people. To me, touching comments are anybody who talks back. Anybody who wants to carry on the conversation in the comments. I love that. So, and I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I think I've pretty much replied to every single comment. If I haven't actually replied, I have liked it, and I just couldn't think of something meaningful enough to reply, I guess. And what are the most negative comments? So I got a comment the other day that made me laugh. It's on my 3 body problem 1-minute review. Is getting some views, and so people are making funny comments. Just the other day somebody said, because during the review I said that it was really sciencey and kind of went over my head a little bit. That's what I said. And in the comment was, I can tell from your summary that this really truly did go over your head. And I just thought that was hilarious. Oh, I thought of so many comebacks to that. But the thing that I said back to that person was, dang, I thought my summary was so good. Because I went back and listened to it and I thought I did a pretty good job on the summary, but I guess to that person, I completely missed the boat. So I thought that was funny. The only other negative comments I think I've gotten is on my review of Spare, and a lot of people pretty much told me I was stupid because I liked it. Oh well. That was fine. In regards to BookTube, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, let's hope that I am still here in 5 years. I really do hope I find this groove with it, and then I will stop worrying about numbers, and I will stop worrying about the views, and I will just have fun with it, and that I will stop having this imposter syndrome, which I pretty much have in anything I try to do in my life, and I will feel like I'm supposed to be here. So if I can get over all those feelings, I think I can still be here in 5 years. I do look back at a lot of the channels that have, that kind of are the leaders of the community and have a lot of subscribers, and most of them have been around for longer than 1 year, let's just say. So, I mean, there's some of them I can think of that have not been around that too very long, and they're pretty popular. But most of the big ones and popular ones, they have to give it a while. So should I tell myself for the whole 2nd year of BookTube that I can't think about quitting? Should I do that? Should I tell myself that again for a whole other year? Okay, I think that's the end of the questions. I was pretty honest with some of my answers here. I was pretty transparent in some of my feelings. I do tend to be a little on the negative side sometimes, even though I'm a very positive person most of the time, but I have lots of negative thoughts. Does that make sense? I'm a positive person that has negative thoughts. I have to fight against those all the time, believe me. So I pretty much just revealed all of that to you and my struggles, and here's hoping that I can just keep going. That's my plan at this point, and I do have a lot of ideas, and I am excited for the next year, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can find that thing that's like, my thing, I guess. Like I've said before, I did blogging for many, many years, and I feel like that is pretty much out, and I still think BookTube is the end thing, although it's kind of being taken over with TikTok's kind of stuff, which I really don't see myself ever doing. So I hope the BookTube thing lasts for a while and that people stick with it, not just me, but viewers. There's my stuff. I hope that was interesting. Maybe I'm gonna hit publish on this video and regret it, just like that question said a little bit ago. Anyway, happy reading, everyone. See you next time. Bye.